Hi everybody, this is Ma Barker coming at you from the greater Seattle area. It is Tuesday, November 15th, 2016, 1 week out from post-op. So last Tuesday I was in the hospital this time. I was just being wheeled in to go to surgery, and it was November 8th, 2016. My starting weight was 301. I don't know what my weight is because I don't have a weight in the scale, and I've been home for the week on recovery, but I will see my doctor in 2 days for my 2-week checkup. It's coming a little early because of the Thanksgiving holidays, but I'll get weighed in then, and I'll report back and see if I've lost any weight. Hopefully I have. But today I just wanted to share with you, now that I'm 1 week post-op, I wanted to share with you what my first week post-op diet has consisted of and how it's working for me. Parts of it are working, parts of it not working quite so good, but I wanted to share it with you. So first, to start off, I will start off with the bariatric vitamins. Now, I don't think, I lost the list that I had of when we were supposed to start taking things, and I think it was sometime during the first week that my dietitian wanted me to start back on the multivitamins. So I got this. It's called Bariatric Advantage. I don't know how well you can see that. And these are multivitamins. These are recommended by my doctor. I buy them from my doctor's office. Now, I'm not saying you have to use the Bariatric Advantage. You can use whatever is sufficient. Just make sure, or my dietitian warned me that it doesn't matter what vitamins I take as long as they meet the bariatric requirements, because your requirements are my requirements are a little higher now since bariatric surgery. But those pills, those multivitamins, this is what they look like. They're really, really big, and I'm supposed to take 2 of these a day, so they're chewable. And I was a little hesitant when I first started taking them about day 4 or 5 after surgery, because I was kind of anxious about putting something solid in my stomach. But I chewed them up very, very, very finely. In fact, a lot of it melted and dissolved in my mouth. But little pieces I swallowed, and I waited, and I didn't have any problem with it. So I take 2 of those a day. Now, the ones that I haven't been taking, that I'm supposed to be taking, and I'll pick up a bag of them on Thursday, day after tomorrow, when I go in for my 2-week checkup, which I know is going to be a little early, but I couldn't do an actual 2-week checkup because that's the week of Thanksgiving. And so we have a bag of calcium chews. They come 30 to a bag, 30, 60, I think 90 to a bag, because it's 1 month's worth. And you have to take 3, or I have to take 3 a day. It's 1,500 units of calcium total. But the dietitian told me that my body is only able to absorb 500 units of calcium at a time. So I'll be taking 1 chew 3 times a day. So what they recommended to me was I take a chew of calcium first thing in the morning, and then wait a couple hours, 2 hours, and take my multivitamin, wait 2 hours, and then that gives me a 4 to 5 hour time frame between the first 500 units of calcium I take and the second 500 calcium units that I take. And then wait 2 hours, take the other multivitamin, because I take my multivitamins twice a day like I was instructed, and then 2 hours later take my last calcium chew. So over the course of 10 hours, every 2 hours, I'm either going to be taking a calcium chew or a multivitamin, and that's for the rest of my life. So that's what I've been doing for multivitamins. Now, for the clear liquids, what I didn't understand, and don't take my word for this, check it with your doctor or your dietitian first, when they said 1 week or 2 weeks post-op clear liquids, they didn't mean actual clear liquids that you could see through. I don't think, because that's not what they served me in the hospital. What I think they meant, and I'm going to double check with the dietitian when I see her on Thursday, is they needed you to have something clear of any chunks or anything in it. So smooth stuff. Now, not every smooth drink falls within the category of clear liquid, but just check with your dietitian, because I wasn't real clear on that. So one of the protein drinks we have to choose from is this. Now, if I remember correctly, my dietitian in our last meeting said this was not an acceptable clear liquid for the first 2 weeks of post-op diet. And I'm not sure why, because when I was in the hospital and on the approved list of things to have after surgery, there's another protein drink very similar to that you can pick up at any supermarket, and that is called muscle milk. I don't think it's quite as thick as the Premier Protein, but it's milky, it's chalky, so it's not clear as see-through. I don't think it's quite as dense as this, so that might be the difference. But in this, it comes in chocolate, vanilla, and banana strawberry. It might come in strawberry, but the banana strawberry is my favorite. The chocolate is my second favorite, although saying it's my favorite, it's like choose the one you don't dislike the most. I don't really care for these, but they serve a purpose. So chocolate would be my second choice. The strawberry banana is my first choice. So that's a protein drink. It has 30 grams per shake. So that is not quite a third of the way for 100 grams of protein a day. Now, the other protein drink I use, this is Isopure, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. If you're not, you can get this at the Vitamin Shop or the GNC Vitamin Store. You can't find it in local grocery stores or like Walmart. You can find the powder form of this, and I do have the powder form of this. I have, it's a white powder. The powder form that I got was no taste, no flavor. And it really is. I mix it in with things like puddings or with my Jell-O, and there really is no flavor to it. The only thing you can't do with this in the powder form is don't mix it with something hot. I made the mistake of trying to mix it with some gravy that I wanted to eat before surgery. And I said, oh, well, it's gravy. I'll get another, cup full of protein in with the gravy. And it clumps up when you put it in something hot. But before surgery, to get more calcium, more protein, I was using the powder of this form, and I would sprinkle it on top of my cereal and on top of my salads and in with my yogurt. And I think a time or two I put a half a scoop in with my protein drink. And it had no flavor at all, so it was really pretty good. Now, these Isopures, this is, I think, a 20-ounce bottle. Yeah, and it's got 20 grams of protein. I thought it was 40 for some reason. 40, it is. So this is a 20-ounce bottle with 40 grams of protein. Having 40 grams of protein with this small bottle is really great, but you're not going to finish this. I can't finish this in a day. It comes in lots of flavors. My favorite flavor is fruit punch, and this is frosty orange, and this is pretty good too. The only thing with this is I've been drinking this a long time because I started drinking this several weeks before surgery so I could increase my protein intake, and it leaves an aftertaste in my mouth, and it's really kind of a sickly sweet aftertaste, so I'm getting kind of off that. Now, the one thing I did find that is made by the same company as Isopure, I believe, it's called New Way. Now, I thought this was a new product, but when I went into the vitamin store to look for it where I buy my Isopure, they said, oh no, this used to be a real popular muscle builder, because a lot of people who work out want a lot of protein after they work out to repair their muscles. And this is actually an old product. And I was told by the by the person working at the store that you used to be able to just buy these on, on checkout stands and Walmart or Kmart or any grocery store. I can't find them anywhere. The only place I can find this is on Amazon or at some other retailers online, but I do most of my shopping on Amazon when I'm online. And it's called New Whey, Newwhey. And it does use the protein isolate, the whey isolate. And the reason why this is good, it's 000, no sugar, no carbs, no calories. This is only 3.5 ounces. This is a 3.5 ounce container. And you see it's watermelon. They have about 6 or 8 flavors to choose from. They're really quite tasty, but I don't drink them like this because they're extremely strong as far as the taste goes. They're not overly sweet. They're just they have a very intense flavor because in this 3.5 grams or ounces, this is 3.5 ounces, there are 42 grams of protein. So you can go with 20 grams, 20 ounces for 40 grams, or you go with 3.5 ounces for 42 grams. But I don't think I could just down this straight. So what I did was I went on Amazon before my surgery. I bought this. It's just a blender bottle. I don't know who makes it. Maybe that's the name of the company who makes it. It was just generic. I looked at a lot of bottles online, water bottles. And this is, I think, 12 ounces. And I like this because it's got a wide top to it. And it's just the perfect size to fill up with ice cubes. Just regular size ice cubes that you freeze in your freezer. And then the drink top, it's just the right size to drink. And it snaps closed, so if you spill, I carry it around in my purse with me. I don't go anywhere without this. And I've always got either a bottle of water I'm going to put in it or protein drink. So what I did was I mixed about 10 ounces of this. I filled it up with ice in the morning. I put 9 to 10 ounces of water. And then I would pour this New Whey into it. And this would be my water intake for the day. This was before surgery. I haven't done it much since surgery because I just can't drink that much. But it's a good source. And here, of course, lots of water. This is just a generic brand. My son's girlfriend brought this over to me. She's been a lot of help to me since my surgery. She brought this over to me the day after I got home from surgery. Brought me a case of this, and I don't even go through one of those a day, although I'm getting to where I'm able to do that. Now, here's the other thing. Crystal Light. It's on all the lists of clear liquids to drink. And it's been a long time since I've had Crystal Light. And I mixed up the first one of these. And then I remembered why I don't drink Crystal Light. This stuff is extremely strong. And it's very, very sweet. Of course, it's the added sweetener or whatever they use to sweeten it with. I don't much care for Crystal Light. A lot of people swear by it. A lot of people drink a lot of it, and that's great. I wish I did because it's just a nice flavored way to have water. But it's just too intense for me. So I've got 2 of those little things that I'll never use. Now, the one thing that we're allowed to have, which is what confused me about clear liquids, is this. This is chocolate vanilla Jell-O sugar-free pudding. Now, it's been a really long time since I've had kids at home, so it's been a really long time since I've had Jell-O or pudding in the house. And this is actually pretty good. What I did was, because we're so close to Thanksgiving and there's so many commercials, and I started getting a hankering for pumpkin pie and Cool Whip, I did cheat just a little bit. And I did get a thing of Cool Whip. And what I do is, when I get ready to eat this Jell-O, I scoop it out into a small bowl. And they say use a small spoon. And people go out and buy spoons. Well, I had a set of silverware that I'd bought a long time ago that I used. But part of the set, what came with it were teaspoons. And this is a teaspoon. Of course, you know, the long-handled teaspoons to stir up sugar in the bottoms of your tea glasses. And I've never used them. But this is just the right size spoon I have found to eat with during your post-op diet. So I didn't have to go out and buy a new small spoon like they encourage you to do. I just use a teaspoon. It works out real well for me. So what I do is I scoop some of this into a small bowl, about a 3 or 4 ounce bowl, so I can keep track of how much I'm able to consume and how much I am consuming to make sure that I'm consuming enough liquids during the day. And I'll take maybe 1 teaspoon of this, and I'll put it on top of the Jell-O, and then I'll eat it together. And the thing about Cool Whip that I like is it's got the same density. It even might be less dense than this. That's why I figured it was okay. But this is Cool Whip Light, and it's only got 1 gram of sugar and 3 carbs per serving, and the serving size is 2 tablespoons. And I eat about a teaspoon of this. So probably more than a teaspoon, because I'll scoop it up with my teaspoon, slop it on top of that pudding, and that cures my craving for pumpkin pie, because I never eat Cool Whip except on Thanksgiving and Christmas with pumpkin pie. So just automatically, if I eat a little bit of Cool Whip, I taste pumpkin pie. So that's been a really nice thing for me to have, especially doing this surgery so close to the holidays, because I love pumpkin pie. Now the other thing we're allowed to have is this sugar-free gelatin or Jell-O. I use Jell-O. I do have some gelatin, some generic gelatin mix as well, sugar-free. And I mix this up and I put it in little 4-ounce Rubbermaid containers. I had a bunch of them set aside that my daughter had given me that I'd never used. So I make this. Usually I get the big boxes of this, but the little box lasts me for days and days. So I have a little 4-ounce Rubbermaid container, and I fill it up with this. Sometimes I'll put Cool Whip on top of this too, just to change it up a little bit. Now this is much larger than 4 ounces, but I couldn't find my 4-ounce Rubbermaid containers at the time. So this has got the sugar-free Jell-O in it, and it's frozen. You know, the movie Frozen? This was sugar-free Jell-O frozen, and it's kind of a sea blue or something, and it's pretty tasty. And the other thing I've been eating about every other day is this yogurt. It's really tasty. It doesn't have any chunks in it, and it's the 000 Oikos Greek yogurt. Has the active enzymes in it, the active cultures, and it's got no fat, no sugar, 15 grams of protein. Oh, I take that back. It's got 5 sugars. It's got 14 grams of carbs, but it's got 6 grams of fiber. Most yogurt doesn't have any fiber in it. This particular yogurt has 6 grams of fiber. So if you're looking at net carbs, this is only 8 carbs with 15 grams of protein. So this was on my approved list from my dietitian to eat in the first 2 weeks. And the flavor, this is mixed berry. This is my favorite flavor. And then they've got peach. That's really good too. The flavor is very good. I like that yogurt, and it's very smooth. The whole cup is smooth. There's no chunks of fruits or anything in it. The other thing we were allowed to use is diet juice. This is Ocean Spray Diet. You have to be real careful if you're going to be drinking juice. I get mine at Walmart, and it's got to say diet as opposed to light. So you could get this cran grape juice in light, or you can get it in diet. The light has a lot of sugar in it, which is what we're trying to avoid because it makes us sick after surgery. This has 2 carbs, less than 1 gram of sugar per serving, and it's got 5 calories. So if you get tired of drinking water, tired of drinking protein drinks, this was on my approved clear liquid drink list, and it comes in lots of different flavors. The only thing I haven't been able to find is diet or light apple juice. I would really like to have some apple juice, but all the apple juice, even the light apple juice I looked at, couldn't find any diet, but it had 15 grams of sugar per serving, and that's just way too much sugar. And the last thing I have to show you is, this was on our approved list too. One of the things I remember hearing a lot of YouTubers say when I was watching a lot of videos before surgery was they got so sick on their 2-week post-op diet, and some of you are on 2-week pre-op clear liquid diets. I'm so sick of chicken broth. I hear it all the time. I never want to drink chicken broth again. I'm so tired of chicken broth. Well, on my clearance list that I could have for my clear diet is top ramen, or the other kind of ramen. I like the top ramen specifically. I've been eating it since before it came to this country, so I'm kind of particular for this particular style. And it comes in lots of different flavors, and that's what I like about it. This is Oriental. It comes in pork and beef and chicken and chilies and spicy Cajun. It comes in all kinds of different flavors, and it's very flavorful. So I stocked up on these, and what I do is I just take a couple cups of water, bring it to a boil, and then just add the packet, just the packet of flavoring, and I set the noodles aside and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I'll give them to my son because one of my sons here, he has 3 little kids. You know, when you make ramen, there's never enough noodles. So if you put twice the amount of noodles in one cooking of the ramen, I think that'll go a long way. So that's about everything. Yep, I think that's everything I had to show you for my post-op diet. The thing that's happening, though, is I'm having a lot of dreams about food. I told you in one previous video that I got into a fisticuffs brawl with my older brother over who got to eat the second foot-long Subway sandwich. We both had already eaten. We were sitting in a Subway. We both had eaten a foot-long Subway, and there was one extra foot-long left over, and both of us wanted the foot-long, and we settled the fight by each having half. I don't know where that came from, but I really wanted some Subway when I woke up. And then just 2 nights ago, it was in the afternoon, I was laying on my couch taking a nap, and you know how when you're dreaming and you know you're dreaming, but the dream's really good, so you make yourself wake up so you can pursue the dream? Well, I was having this very vivid dream that I was eating a very thick BLT. I love bacon, and it's high in protein. I know it's high in fat and calories, but it's 0 for carbs. And so I was in this dream. I had a thick slices of tomatoes and yummy mayonnaise and double layer of bacon, fried up crispy, and I was getting ready to eat one of those BLTs. But I kind of knew I was dreaming, so I woke myself up so that I could get up and fix a BLT to eat. When I woke up, I was craving a BLT, and then it was like, oh man, I don't get to have a BLT. It's one of those times where if I had a crispy thing of bacon in front of me, I would have licked it because it would have tasted so good. So am I experiencing hunger? Yeah, I'm experiencing hunger. What I'm finding is I really miss the taste of food. What I had to do, one of the things that was not recommended, and that I've got to clear with my dietitian, but because of all these things that we're eating, the diet juice and the sugar-free Jello and the sugar-free pudding and the Isopure and the Crystal Light, all those things are very, very sweet. Before surgery, I didn't get fat by eating sweet stuff. I got fat by eating a lot of carbs and not exercising, but processed sugar has never been my thing. I don't crave candy, sweets, cakes, cookies, that kind of thing. I love pasta and bread and potatoes and rice, but the sweet stuff never appealed to me. So with all the sweet stuff, it was really starting to make me feel sick in my mouth. I was tired of eating all the sweet stuff. So I decided to go against regulations a little bit and have a cup of classic tomato soup. So I went to the store, I got a can of classic tomato soup, opened it up. I added about a can and a half of water to it to dilute it so it wasn't quite so dense. And after I drank a couple of sips of the tomato soup, because it's not sweet at all. Now, I didn't think to check the sugar content, how many grams of sugar is in tomato soup, and I'm feeling pretty sure that there's probably quite a few grams of sugar in tomato soup. I didn't check it out. I didn't think of it. I just wanted something that was a little more well-defined to eat that didn't taste sweet. And so I drank a cup of tomato soup. Now, when I say I drank it, it took me like an hour and 40 minutes to drink this cup of soup, because I'm still taking small sips. I'm still restricted with my intake. So it's just, when I eat the Jell-O or I eat the pudding or I eat the yogurt, it's still just, maybe 3 tablespoons a serving, and then it all goes back. So my serving sizes are very limited and very small. But I needed something of substance, something with some substantial taste, because I was getting really sick of all this sugar junk. Well, that's it for the end of my first week of post-op diet. I hope you guys got some useful information that you can use. I'm going in, like I said, day after tomorrow on Thursday for my 2-week post-op checkup. I will check back in then. Tomorrow I'm going to the doctor's, a different doctor's, orthopedics, because I'm going to get some cortisone shots in my knees so that I can get up and get moving. Doesn't do any good to have bariatric or weight loss surgery if you don't work with it and get up and start moving and start challenging yourself to be physically active. I can't do that right now because my knees hurt so badly with the arthritis. So I'll check in and let you know how that goes, and then check in on Thursday and let you know how my 1 weekend, 2-day, 2-week post-op appointment goes. And I'll give a weigh-in then. Hopefully I've lost a few pounds. Until then, this is Ma Barker saying, have a great week, enjoy life, and don't sweat the small stuff. We'll chat later. Bye-bye.